Jonathan, welcome. Maybe I can start with a very simple question, which is, what is the value of the Portfolio Summit to you?
It was just really useful to me to be able to come and present what we're doing. And I know that there's an audience across TDK that now is going to be aware of what it is that Agility does. And that introduction, I think, is going to be useful going forward.
Perfect. Could you please share your firm's contribution to society and why now is the right time?
Well, that's a big one, right? So our entire mission, Agility Robotics, our mission is to enable humans to be more human. And the whole point is to have robots take the drudgery out of a lot of the tasks, a lot of the classic 3Ds of robotics, dull, dirty, dangerous, but we're kind of at this really exciting inflection point, honestly, a historical inflection point in robotics, where maybe in the 60s we started with the first industrial robot arms. And then maybe the 2000s we have more of the AMRs, autonomous mobile robots. But still, you're designing the environment around the robots. And the robots are doing a bunch of automation, but you have to build the space around them. And now Digit and just a couple of the robots as pioneering are operating in human spaces. And there's no modification required. Hallways and doors and stairways and just the normal human environment, and then being able to interact naturally with people on human terms rather than needing to learn how to program, to operate the thing. And so really being at that inflection point of now having robots that can do things in human environments is going to enable, so much more utility out of these machines. It's happening fast and it's going to accelerate. And robots that are able to do all these useful tasks in our space, it's going to start to be more and more common. It's going to become part of everyday life because that kind of broad general utility of a machine like that, it's like smartphones and cars and things and tools that we use all the time. So when you and I are a little bit older, we're going to have these humanoid robots, like even maybe in our homes within our lifetimes, and that's pretty cool.
Actually, as we will age and become old, that will be very useful.
Yeah. Want to have a helper around the house.
Yep. What is the value of engaging with TDK to you?
We're also talking with TDK about the various types of sensors and things that could be going in the robot. One example of that is we've got now some InventSets IMUs that are going to be just the chip level, but distributed around the whole robot. And so having that kind of thing, it's not the primary IMU that tells the robot which way is up, and it's an incredibly rich source of information.
Yep.
But now that we've got the computing on board and are starting to have the computational tools using various learning methods and things like that, we may be able to actually really utilize that for much more high fidelity sensing of what we're doing in the world. So the physical interaction.
Very nice. Please share an example of TDK goodness that helped Agility Robotics.
We've had a really good relationship with TDK from the very beginning. In fact, you recall it was our Series A that TDK came in on. And TDK was the primary group that introduced us to a number of other investors that built out that syndicate and really got our Series A off the ground in a very strong way. And then that kind of partnership has continued. And even in the past few days, we've got a list of additional investors and not a lot of overlap actually with the people we've already got on our list that's going to help us invite to our demo day where we're going to introduce our robots to a broad group of people here in Palo Alto and then leverage that up into our Series C investment round. So just TDK has been, what I call it, like punching above their weight on the introductions and the value that they've brought to our company.
And we will continue. Why did you choose TDK Ventures?
We talked with a lot of investors, but there was much more, I would call it like a personal interaction, where from the start, I think that, we were talking with Andrew at the time, and he really recognized the value in what we were doing earlier than most people could see what was different about what we were doing. And since that point in time, it's been such a positive kind of supportive interaction. It doesn't feel cutthroat. It feels encouraging and supportive. And so that's just incredibly valuable given how challenging a startup is across the board. We are firing on all cylinders to make this happen, and just having the partnership from our investors is valuable.
Thank you, Jonathan.